Hello, today we are going to channel about how to handle bugs. So, we all know, if you're here, most likely you know that we are connected and we are one source energy. So, bugs are included in that. Everything is us. So, what do we do though when we have an infestation? Now, I have been trying really hard to save bugs and insects, and I try really hard to take them outside. I have a cup method. So you take a cup and you take a piece of cardboard, and it's really easy because in the mail they always send you those kind of thicker papers that are like almost like cardboard. Um, and so you could just take one of those. And so you put the cup up against, like, let's say the bug is on the wall. You put the cup over it. You take the piece of cardboard, and then you turn the cup over. And you take it outside. So if you're not doing that, that's one easy way. However, sometimes there's infestations, um, such as there were a whole bunch of ants, uh, going at my cat's food, and it was just all over the food. Like, I don't know how many. A lot, a lot. Um, I tried to take what I could outside. So I took the container of the food, took it outside, and dumped them out. Now, however, if you know, ants, they will come in because they have a trail and they have, I don't know, they leave some sort of trail, some sort of like, I don't know, what would you call it? Chemicals or I don't know. It wouldn't be hormones, but it's some sort of message to the other ants to come and find the food source. So if you don't clean and kind of kill them in that area, they'll just keep bringing more. So, what do we do in instances like that? I've also had some spiders, like multiple spiders in my window. Now, I've left them alone because the window, unfortunately, can't open the windows. I mean, I could, but they might come in. They're like these hairy spiders. Yeah, they're not too big, but they're kind of bigger. Um, I don't know, they're not big, but they're kind of creepy. And I've had centipedes. I've taken a centipede outside. I had one trapped in my light though. Um, trapped. Um, I felt actually pretty bad for it. Um, but I couldn't do anything about the spiders in the window because the way that our windows are set up is that you open up the window and with the screen, like you can only open it so high, and then Um, the spiders will crawl they get scared, and so they crawl all the way up to the area where I can't reach. So I've just left them alone. Maybe that's good because I know that spiders do help from other bugs coming in because they'll eat them. So maybe it helps the house. But I haven't opened the windows all summer because of it. So we're gonna channel here just what do we do about bugs and insects? How much karma does it create if we are killing them? Okay, because sometimes we do. Um, I mean, what do we do if we are driving and um there's a spider in our car, right? Um, do we what do we do? Like, do we allow it to crawl up us if it happens? I mean, is the most elevated state to make peace with that, right? And to not be scared of the spiders, right? Because centipedes, I know a lot of centipedes this year, a lot of fear about the centipedes. And I really think that that centipede got trapped in my light to help me desensitize from that fear. Um, I really do feel it was a lesson. Because my first reaction was I didn't want to sleep in my room because I thought it might come out of the lamp. I know that that may sound kind of juvenile. I mean, it sounds, but it is a fear from childhood, I would say. And I got over this because I did sleep in my bed and I did I had all that programming come up, automatic thoughts, it's right over there. I knew it was going because I had the light off, but during when I had the light on, it would just go and you could see the shadow in it. It's kind of creepy. But I did develop an empathy for it. I did know that it would pass. The light is set up in a certain way to take it down and to try to get this outside. I would have probably had to get maintenance. But I do think the unfortunate thing, I say unfortunate, but I know that my higher self had said, um, not to have too much concern for it either. But, uh, and I know I'm going on about this, I'm gonna end in a minute, but the, as soon as I desensitized that fear and I was able to go to sleep and I made peace with it, like in the morning, it had passed. So I feel like it was there for a lesson, and once the lesson was completed, it had completed sort of not to, I don't know if it had a mission per se, but my experience with it was complete. Um, y- but yes, my higher self said I was developing too much empathy for it then. So not to let it, find the right words, not to let it into determine my state. Like, I don't think it was not to have empathy, but not to think too much about it and to actually um, recognize that it has its own experience and I have my own experience. Okay, and not to make my experience the centipede's experience, if that makes sense. But let's channel Archangel Michael. Let's see what he has to say about bugs and insects, our relationship with bugs and insects, and how to handle this. Um, is it our duty to save all all the bugs, all the insects that come into the home? This is especially what I want to know because there are so many, so many. And is it the lightest, best way to try to save them all? That's what I'm interested in. I really don't think that we're supposed to go around just squashing them. I definitely don't think that that's the right thing. But is it our duty to try to see them all too? All right. So just hold on while I go into my heart space. I will do a shielding here and connect. Yes, we would like to speak about this topic. There are multiple ways to look at this. For instance, if we have bugs in the home, it is not that the bug is us. This may seem surprising for you to understand. A bug is a limited consciousness. A bug does not hold the same frequency as a person. This does not mean that they are separate. They are consciousness. However, their consciousness is not as feeling. They do not have the same state of feelings as you. So when you look at it this way, you can see them as a source of consciousness, a God consciousness, but they are not in the same frequency as you. So when you hold on to that agreement that they are you, you will take on their essence and maybe see them too fear-based and that you cannot ever squash them, you cannot ever harm them, and they're very delicate. So if you take on that, you will then not be at peace. Now, the other way around, if you go around and you squash them and hurt them and kill them on purpose, just because it's the easiest way, you will also not be at peace. The reason you will not be at peace is because you are falling into fear that you cannot have that in your vicinity. You cannot ever be close to that creature. Therefore, the best answer is in the middle. It is to say that these creatures are you, but they are also not of that frequency that is of you. When you take that on, you can see that these are you, these are not you. And then you can take it on to save them when you can and let it go when you cannot. When we talk about spiders, ants, centipedes, mosquitoes, we would like to talk about what is best to do. Let's even talk about ticks and other parasites. And let's also talk about pesticides and chemicals. When you create a distortion that these are creatures that do not have to exist, meaning these are bad creatures, you are telling yourself that these are not you. You have a distortion when you say these creatures are so limited, so unlike me. Then you are taking a part of yourself and denying it. So see the beauty in these animals, understand them. Why would they exist? How do they fit into the ecosystem? How do they help the ecosystem? What would happen if they were not around? They are there for a reason. Understand them and look at them and understand you as well. Feel those feelings without judgment. If fear comes up, anger comes up, let yourself understand that which you are and then let it go. Do not determine your nature depending on them. Find your own truth within yourself. You might sit with it for a while to see what it is that comes up for you when you think of a certain creature. You can do this for animals as well, such as sharks, skunks, Any type of animal that brings up fear. Wolves might bring up fear. There's a lot of distortions in media. Porcupines, badgers. What is it that brings up a frequency that isn't in alignment? Look at this and understand this, for then you will understand and you will transmute. See that you are not in danger. See that you are safe. These are not determining your frequency. When you can understand the frequency of the fear and then feel the frequency without the fear, you get out of it, transmute it. And most likely then you will never encounter that creature again. And if you do, it will be in a different way. Yes, and this is Heather. I'm just sharing that after I had the centipede in the lamp, which brought up a lot of fear, then I had a centipede in the shower, and then I was able to manage that without any fear and take it outside. I felt really good about it. Okay. When you encounter certain animals or bugs, creatures that are frequent, such as ants, we do not think it is the best to try to save them all. If you try to save them all, you will feel really bad when you cannot. You are setting yourself up to fail. It is not that you go around squashing them. You pay attention and try to be aware. But you do not fall into fear if you have to protect your house. You can, as the Native Americans do, you can send them love as you take care of them. You can send them a blessing on their way. Now, when it comes to other insects and bugs, such as ticks, mosquitoes, it would be best for you to protect yourself using a repellent. Now, we would like to speak about natural repellents and natural pesticides. We do not agree with chemicals because the chemicals will be taken in by you as well. And those will also lead towards a karma because that is in danger. It is a danger to anything in the environment. And it is also leading towards a separation towards source. It is not natural, it's not organic, it is not something that is in alignment to the source creational agenda. So we would agree with only natural products. So to eliminate any fear, we would say that you can handle bugs and insects. It is possible for you to do this in the most loving way. Do not fear if you fall into needing to take a bug away, to eliminate a bug. But also do not seek it. Do not find it the only solution. Okay, I have a question about so animals has been brought up. I am seeing kind of an alignment here, but what about animals then? As well. Is this I'm very much getting that information too. um, about animals. Now, does the same principles apply? And also, I would think that it would be best to be vegetarian and not to eat animals. Because also from what they said, we shouldn't seek it out. It'd be best not to seek out killing insects. I would assume that it would be best for animals as well. Does this apply like if we're driving and we accidentally hit a animal in the road? Um, or do we ever have to kill an animal? I mean, there's self-defense. I think bugs are kind of different in a sense. But maybe, I mean, do we have infestations of animals? Probably. Just not in that kind of area, but there might be a reason why we would have to kill animals. Okay, let's see. Yes, the same principles apply for animals. Do not seek it out. It is best to be vegetarian. It is not needed to eat animals. The frequency is low. And yes, it is the same as eating yourself. It is taking from another. This is also different from the insect example. For the insects do come into the home and they may disturb the frequency in the home. And so you may need to see them as not necessary, see them as needing to get rid of them if there is no other solution. Key is there's no other solution. But if you were to have an animal, there may be times where you would need to because there's no other solution. Rabid creatures or creatures that cannot be repelled. Yet again, repellents to keep your gardens safe, repellents to keep your home safe is necessary. Most creatures are not a threat. Most creatures are not a risk. Only see them out if they are a risk. Do not look for them. Do not seek out elimination. It is never what we want. It is never the agenda of the Prime Creator. Do align with the frequency of health, wellness, and love. See everything as a part of you, an extension of you. Even the insects. However, do not determine them to be you. They are an extension of you, but they are not you. You are a different kind of creature in the sense that you have more light, more frequency. And animals are a different frequency as well. To see them as you, but also as not you. To have a dualistic understanding of them being you and not you at the same time. They are a part of Source, they are of that consciousness. However, you have a different consciousness in that consciousness. To understand this as well will serve you so that you can go about your day without fear and to not go around seeing yourself as creating karma. If you go around with fear of creating karma, you will create new karma. That is not the way. It is to desensitize yourself from the things that would create karma and to do it in the most loving way. Not to seek out any damage, not to seek out any separation or elimination. Make peace with things, and you will not need to eliminate. Make peace with things, and these events will not occur. As you become love, as your frequency lifts, you will see yourself in a different way, and all things will become different. There's nothing else to say at this matter. We think that we have come to the conclusion of what you would call an answer. Okay. Okay. All right. So, well, let me say thank you. Okay. They say we are pleased. All right. So, all right. That makes sense. So, if there's a lot of ants in the home, it's okay to protect your home and to say no. You're not gonna come in here because I started to think I really had a little bit of conflict here because I was like, I don't want to do anything harmful to anything. But yet I didn't feel like it was right to just live with a whole bunch of ants in the home. So, um, also, yeah, I did hear about somebody told me a story. I didn't see this, but somebody told me a story of a family who loved all the spiders in the home. I mean, in the sense, see, I don't really see a lot of spiders, and when I do see a few, I take them out. But there's really not a whole lot, probably because we're not opening windows. But this family had all these spiders. I mean, I heard that they had all these cobwebs under their um tables and chairs and things, and just allowed it. Like they loved the spiders, I guess. And that's one way, but um, I wouldn't feel comfortable with that. I don't. I like a clean, uncluttered area, and I wouldn't want that. So I think that there's a certain point where we may need to take some action. Okay, so Archangel Michael is letting us know that it is okay to take action if needed, but only if needed, and do it in a loving way. I like that too, with the Native American, like giving a blessing and to, send it on its way. I think it's the way that he put it. So, um, and also, it's been brought up about if you do eat meat to do that too. You can do a prayer and thank the animal for giving its life for you. So I do like that idea. All right, so I hope this was helpful. I hope it does shed some light on bugs and insects and what is the highest. Um, so I'll see you soon. Bye.